From the studios of the Brooklyn College radio station, this is Beyond the Box Score. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Beyond the Box Score. It is a rainy Monday, April 1st, 2024. I am your host, Max, here with Sean. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? How's it already April, bro? This year has flown by.
Yeah, it has. It really has.
It's already spring.
How was your Easter?
It's good. So just
Did
chill.
anything fun?
Nah, not really.
No?
I just chilled at home, watched some TV.
Nice. All right, well, we had quite the opening weekend of baseball, dude. As you can see, I'm rocking my Derek Jeter jersey.
And the undefeated New York Yankees.
That's right. We're going to start off with some baseball as the Yankees and Astros played out quite the series this weekend. Look, I think coming into this series, when it was announced that the Yankees were going to be going to Houston to play the Astros, I think most fans were hoping for a 2-2 split. You know, because this team is just the devil, like reincarnated. Going to it has haunted this team for years now. Going to Houston, whether it's the playoffs or not, it's just hell. It's horrible.
It's like having a bad omen held over you. It's like that obstacle that you want to get through.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly how to.
Year after year, it's just it's awful, and it's gotten so bad. This rivalry, you can't even call it a rivalry because they always kick our ass. But it's gone so bad that the historic rivalry between the Yankees and the Red Sox is kind of just it's disappeared.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like
now
there's no Yankees-Red Sox rivalry anymore.
Yeah, which that needs to change, but it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon with the Red Sox.
Well, yeah, because the Red Sox are about to tank.
Yeah. But anyways, let's talk about this series. Before I break down each game, I want to say that there was a lot of like Astros fans that were like, you know, this is just the start of the season. Right. 4 games into the season, you guys are making way too big of a deal out of this. But the Yankees have already clinched the playoff seeding tiebreaker over the Astros with this sweep.
Yeah,
so it does count. It's a big deal.
It does count, and for the Yankees to start out the season hot like this, it's a good sign, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's what you want, because there are a lot of questions going about this team, especially with the injury of Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Like, how's this team going to come out and play? And Juan Soto has delivered in a big way.
Let's break it down. So, game 1, Thursday night. Nestor Cortez on the bump, like you said, due to Garrett Cole's injury. He's going to be gone for quite a bit. We're hoping early June. But in the meantime, Nestor Cortez takes his spot. He gave up 3 runs in the first, and that's when you're just like sitting there like, dude, not again. You know what I mean? You were hoping something would be different, but 3 runs in the first, it's like, oh boy, the pitching is going to be a really big issue. We're going to have to slug our way out of everything. And the Astros led 4-0 going into the 5th. But that's when a man named Juan Soto gets us on the board. His first Yankees hit, RBI single, 4-1 Astros, okay? Yankees load the bases, and they get a hit by pitch for Rizzo. Sends in Oswaldo Cabrera. We're going to talk about him a little bit more. 4-2 Astros. Anthony Volpe walks and sends Gleyber Torres home. 4-3 Astros. And after a pretty bad start, Nestor Cortez, he starts to shove. He gets out of it. And you know what? Only 3 earned runs against the Astros with that like incredible lineup, just the absolute gauntlet of a lineup with just going down Altuve, Jordan, Tucker, Bregman. Their catchers much better now. Jeremy Pena. I mean, it is really hard to get one win from this team, but a sweep is pretty incredible. So Nestor did a pretty good job getting back into it, and then Oswaldo Cabrera hits his first homer of the season and ties it at 4. And that's when you're starting to feel it. You're like, okay, it's basically just 0-0 now. We're back in this. And then Judge doubles in the 7th, makes it home after Alex Verdugo lines one to left. 5-4 Yankees. Yankees had the lead. Bottom of the 9th comes. Now, I'm pretty sure you saw this
Yeah,
play, right?
yeah.
Of course. This was all over social media. Clay Holmes, the Yankees closer, was really struggling. 3 hits in this one inning, and we're like, dude, no, please, no. You battled all game. You can't have your closer just ruin it for you. I mean, it's so classic Yankees Astros, but you just can't. I can't watch that happen again. But no. I think it was oh shoot. I think it was Tucker who hit the line drive into right field. If it's not, I apologize. But Juan Soto makes an amazing game-saving throw to home plate, where Jose Trevino gets the runner out. Yankees win 5-4. That I feel like that is the moment where we're just gonna look back and be like, okay, that's where Juan Soto became a Yankee.
That's where Juan Soto adapted to the team, right? And that's what you want to see. You want to see him get more accustomed, and for him to have a shining performance throughout this series is just this is what you got him for.
Yeah,
it's the 1-2 punch.
It's moments like those, right? And he's not even known for his defense too. Like he's been known as a pretty average to below average defender, but he made some incredible plays in the outfield this series. Let's get just a quick breakdown of Game 1. Oswaldo Cabrera game-tying home run. Juan Soto got a hit, an RBI, 2 walks. His just watching his at bats, I knew he was good, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's a future Hall of Fame player, World Series champion. The guy, just watching him at the plate is so much fun because he just seems like in complete control. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He knows how to slow down the game for himself. He knows how to get to his spots and what he needs to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like all the decisions he makes on the field are well calculated. It's not like a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah, and I mean, just he knows exactly where the strike zone is. He knows what pitch to hit, which pitch to let by. You know, so I don't know. It's so much fun watching him at the plate. And it just makes me so excited for the rest of the season. The bullpen was lights out, and the entire series lights out. Not a single run for the whole bullpen. Game 2, this one was a fun one. Yankees win 7-1. Carlos Rodon was on the bump. This was a guy coming into the season that was kind of your biggest X factor because of the success that he had with the White Sox, with the Giants. Last year, he had the injury issues, came back, it was horrible. You're like, man, that's really not what this team needs. We were hoping to get another ace, a real number 2 in that starting rotation, and he was just not that guy for us last year. So there was a lot of expectations coming in for Rodon this season, and man, I mean, 1 earned run. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. I mean, he really struggled with the control and the location of some of his pitches, but the stuff was there, and I will never complain ever. Again, 1 run against the Astros in that lineup. That's pretty impressive. You'll take that any day of the week. The game was 0-1 Astros heading into the 7th. Their pitcher, Christian Javier, was just unbelievable. I mean, the curveball, the slider, everything was working for him. But then once they went to their bullpen, and that was kind of the story of the whole series, the second they went to their bullpen, the Yankees just hammered them. We got a game-tying RBI single for Oswaldo Cabrera, scores 1-1. Bases are loaded. Soto works a walk, sending Austin Wells home. 2-1 Yankees. Top of the 8th. 2 horrible errors, hilarious errors from the Astros. Rizzo scores by a bad throw from Pena, and Austin Wells bunts, and then the pitcher just essentially, you might as well just had a blindfold on, just chucked it to first, and it went by, allowing Verdugo to score. Oswaldo Cabrera follows that up with a nice 2-run single, and the game just completely is broken
opened up for the Yankees from there, right?
Stan caps it off with his first homer of the year. And, yeah, man, I mean, Oswaldo Cabrera, Juan Soto, that 1-2 punch. And I'm gonna talk about this later, but Judge was really a non-factor for most of this series. He had a double and he had a sac fly, which were basically the only 2 ways that he contributed offensively. You know, it was a pretty quiet series from him, but that's okay. That happens. Like it's the beginning of the season.
I mean, hey, you guys still won without him having to do much. So that says more about the depth of this team. And,
yeah, that's the amazing part. We absolutely needed him to go crazy every single game for the past however many years.
That's how he got so many home runs, because without that last season, the Yankees needed that time in, time out, because without that, they weren't going to win. Whereas now they kind of have, obviously bringing in Juan Soto was the most important part, but you have now kind of that depth with Rizzo becoming.
Rizzo's healthy, yeah.
Rizzo's healthy. Cabrera is playing at a high level now, so it's like you're putting that all together, so it takes the pressure off of Aaron Judge.
Yeah, absolutely. Game 3 was a lot of fun. Yankees won at 5-3. They were in a hole again though. Start the game 2-0 Astros. Then Juan Soto scores on another error from the Astros, and then the Yankees themselves commit an error, so the Astros go up 3-1. But at the top of the 7th, Oswaldo Cabrera, we've been talking about him a little bit, hits a game-tying 2-run home run off of Brian Abreu. Cabrera, he didn't hit his second home run of 2023 until his 31st game. So he's got 2 in the first 3 games of this season. I think that's a pretty nice sign of things to come. And especially considering that this guy was not even going to be in the starting lineup. You know, DJ LeMahieu, the third baseman, is injured. He's got a bone bruise that turned out a little bit worse than they thought. So he's on the 15-day IL. And this kid, man, he's such a likable guy, but really struggled last year at the plate, and the year before that. So I'm loving it. I love seeing these young guys like take advantage of opportunities. Juan Soto hit a go-ahead home run, his first as a Yankee, to put the Yankees up 4-3. And then Anthony Volpe extends the lead with his first home run of the season off of Ryan Presley, and it's 5-3 Yankees. That was Marcus Stroman's debut, which was an interesting acquisition from the Yankees. I know they offered Blake Snell that contract in the offseason that he did not take, so Marcus Stroman was kind of their backup plan. But, I mean, he pitched great. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. You would take that any day of the week. And Game 4, by far the most intense game out of all these in this series. This was such a fun game, man. Clark Schmidt on the mound, 1.5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 0 walks, 5 strikeouts. Anything under, I think, 4 earned runs, I'm fine with, especially like considering who the opponent is. Jose Trevino started out, hits a blooper RBI single. Altuve responded with his first home run of the season, so it's 1-1. And then John Birdie, the guy who they acquired just this past Wednesday to fill out some of that, the issues with the infield depth. Lifts one into right for an RBI single. 2-1 Yankees. Judge hits a sac fly. 3-1 Yankees. But then the bats just came alive for the Astros. Bottom of the 6th. Tucker with an RBI double. Yanier Diaz, RBI single. And then it's 3-3 all of a sudden. But then here comes this 9th inning. And to all the people out there who don't think that... I get if you think baseball is boring compared to other sports because of its pace. You know, some people just like the faster pace of football, of the NBA. So I get I understand not wanting to sit down and watch an entire baseball game, but that 9th inning, I mean, dude, it has the playoff atmosphere that you want. Anyone that thinks like regular season baseball sucks, just go watch that 9th inning.
And it's like even if there's not action happening in front of you, you could still feel the intensity. You can still feel something that's about to come. Yeah. You know it's important.
And the rule changes they've made, especially with the addition of the pitch
clock, it speeds up the game.
It really does. So it's like it's not as much downtime. You don't have to check your phone every 5 seconds. You know what I mean? So this 9th inning, the top of the 9th, Josh Hader comes in. New acquisition, one of the best closers in all of baseball, right? We're thinking, oh man, 1, 2, 3 inning, it's over. Going to extra innings, but nah, man, nah. Gleyber Torres works a walk, easily steals second base. Hader wasn't even looking at him. Hader, Soto, both teammates on the Padres last year. This battle between these two, I mean, just an unbelievable pitching hitter matchup. So entertaining, and Soto's able to work the count to full, and then lines one into shallow left field. Torres is already running home, so he gets home easily. Soto's like, as he's running to first base, he just slams the bat down. He's shouting, he's pounding his chest. Like, it was such a hype moment because those are the moments that like we have not had against the Astros. You know,
Right.
In that if Soto's not there, you know, it's Stan who's just striking out. It's not, that hasn't happened. That doesn't happen for us. You know what I mean? Like, I hate being a Yankees fan complaining because we're obviously much better off than like the Rockies or whatever. And you know, although we finished above 500 last season,
It wasn't that great of a season, right?
it was a horrible season.
Yeah, there was always
our,
like
our
that.
standards are so much higher than many other franchises. So although I don't always love complaining, that kind of season in 2023 is something that you just can't have. So and so this feels right. This feels right. This feels like an actual championship caliber team.
Right, a team that like has high hopes, high achievements. A team that you could see like going far.
Absolutely. And so we got the lead. We got the lead, dude. Now we go to the bottom of the ninth, and Clay Holmes is coming up again. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. This guy is, because Clay's good. He's got a lot of really good stuff, but he scares you. You know, he really did not strike. I don't think he struck out a single batter this series. So, you know, he puts the ball in play, and the Astros seem to hit him pretty well. So, 2 straight singles for the Astros to start the bottom of the ninth, and you know that like GTA meme where he's like, "Oh,
Here we go again." Yeah, walking up
that's
to us like,
kind of what I'm
again,
thinking
yeah.
right now. Because Jose Altuve is coming up to bat.
Yep.
And this guy is just an absolute Yankee killer. I mean, you take out the cheating scandal.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he stole the MVP away from Aaron Judge in 2017, like it's always gonna stick with me.
Right.
You know, but it wasn't the first pitch, but he lines one down the third base line.
Mm-hmm.
And John Birdie, as I said earlier, this guy that we just got last Wednesday, only made the lineup because Anthony Volpe had a stomach issue, right? This guy makes an unbelievable stop, gets the runner out at third, and literally just saves the game for us right there. Then here comes Yordan Alvarez, who's had a horrible series, but you know he can always. The guy's power is just unquestionable, so he can always hurt you. And there's 2 guys on base still, so he hits one into left field. That is just foul by inches, man, by inches.
Right.
And it feels like at this point you've had 2 like incredibly close calls, and you're like, okay, that's a lot. My heart's racing right now, but I feel like the baseball gods are kind of on our side right now, because that would have been fair. You know, that should have been fair. It was not. I feel like Clay Holmes is getting really lucky right now, so I'm feeling a little bit better. You just need 1 out, right? Here comes Kyle Tucker, who's one of the most like underrated players in all of baseball. He's just consistently good year in, year out. And the first pitch he lines out to left field. Verdugo makes an incredible sliding catch, and the game is over. And I'm like, I understand these are regular season games, but this series, it means so much to Yankees fans. It really does, because of the pressure that was on the organization, the opponent, just the atmosphere. Like,
And on top of that, to go out to Houston and do it, just going to completely sweep the series in Houston. It's like, it's that time where it's like, this is our biggest challenger, so you take them out on the first in the first series of the season. It's like, damn, now we know, like, we got past that hurdle.
It's a statement.
Yeah, it's a statement win. Yeah,
it's
a statement win of anyone that questioned the potential of this team.
The Yankees can sweep the Houston Astros, a team that, like we said, has just haunted them for years. If they can sweep the Houston Astros, they can sweep any team in baseball.
Right.
And we're not even healthy right now. We missed our ace for the first game. We're missing DJ. So I'm not overreacting. Of course, I'm not overreacting. But I do feel it's just a different vibe that this team has right now.
And you guys next year starting tonight is against the team that just made the World Series, the Arizona Diamondbacks too.
Yeah.
So another good challenge for this team.
Yeah. They just made clutch play after clutch play, and it feels like Soto has kind of instilled a confidence and a swagger in this team that it is severely lacked.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of big takeaways before we move on. The bullpen was amazing. Like I said, not a single earned run. These are guys, big questions about the bullpen coming in. These are guys that no one, ask people, no one's ever heard of some of these names, but they pitched amazing. The starting pitching was a lot better than you'd think. Again, like not having Cole is a really big deal, but they really showed up. Aaron Judge, as I said earlier, had a bad series, all things considered, and they still won. So the fact that we're not nearly as reliant on him as we were in the past, I think it makes everyone feel a lot more comfortable. It makes you feel like, okay, we're still. It doesn't matter if we're down. If we're down 3 runs last year, the game's over.
Yeah.
But
now it's like
we still feel like we can win any game.
And yes, at the same time, even though Judge struggled in this series, he's too good. He's good enough to bounce back.
Absolutely.
So it's you're not even worried about him.
No.
It's just you're worried about the rest of the team, what they did when he was not playing as well last season, or even when he was hurt. He was hurt like a large chunk of the season last year. And now to know that you can win against one of the top teams without him playing at his best is a very encouraging sign.
Yeah. Now you go to Arizona, who to play a really good Diamondbacks team. Yeah. They're leading the league in on-base percentage right now. And then you go back home. Or you go home for the first time. You get your home opener.
Home against the Blue Jays.
Against the Blue Jays. I can't wait for that. The reaction to hearing like just New Yorkers in the Bronx with Soto now, it's going to be great. It's going to be magic.
You guys have the Blue Jays and then the Marlins at home for a little homestand. And then you have the Guardians in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Again, not overreacting.
No, it's just obviously just 4 games in.
Just some game recaps, enjoying the wins. First 4-0 start since the season, since the 2003 season.
And like we talk about with basketball, it's like the regular season doesn't really kick in until like after Christmas.
Right.
It kind of feels like the regular season for baseball doesn't kick in until like June.
Yeah. Although opening day does have a certain feel about it.
No, of course it does. Yeah.
It's not the same for the NBA. I feel like opening day for baseball, they make a bigger deal out of it. Yeah. Where it's like if you win opening day, the vibes are like at an all-time high.
Right.
I don't know.
Because it's different though. Because like you said, it's not the same in the NBA, even though the MLB season is longer.
Yeah.
Twice more longer. It's just I feel like with baseball, it's different because there's that bigger feel of a fan connection.
Yeah.
I feel like especially with the Yankees, like those fans in the Yankee Stadium, they get a lot. Like they're into that team.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with NBA, for example, it's like, oh, we're 0-1, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll bounce back. But like for the Yankees, for example, like this is a big win.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. Look, they're not gonna sweep the Diamondbacks, but if they could just win the series, that would be outstanding. All right, well, we'll see. We'll check in on them again next week. Should we touch on the Mets before we go to NBA or NCAA?
Yeah,
They suck.
Yeah, they're terrible.
All right, let's move on. Do you want to do Knicks or March Madness first?
Let's do NBA first. Let's do the Knicks.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so the Knicks here they're still good, obviously. It's just an interesting time for this team because that offense is heavily dependent on everything Jalen Brunson does, and you're gonna need guys like Dante, Josh Hart to show up. Mitchell Robinson just came back for them this week, which is a good sign. The only problem here is it doesn't seem like Randall or OG Anunoby are gonna come back anytime soon.
You win 3 straight, and then these 2 games this weekend were kind of heartbreakers.
Right.
I mean, Brunson, That game against the Spurs was just unbelievable.
Like you drop 61, but then you have Wembanyama in that same game drop 40 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to this, especially with that Spurs game too. They were down by like as much as like 16, 18 at one point.
It's unfortunate because this is such a talented team when fully healthy, but you can't really. I don't know. Can you take away? It's hard to take away a lot from these games when they're not at their full strength. You know what I mean?
Right.
The game last night. I mean, that's just an incredible shot by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
Not much you can really do about that. I think Knicks fans were.
It was a fadeaway in the corner to win the game, right?
I'm sure they're pretty upset today about the non-foul call on Brunson on his final shot because there was a lot of contact there. But I don't know, that's just NBA referees.
And it's interesting because it's notable that the Cavs won. No, the Cavs lost yesterday, but my bad. They're still a half game ahead for third seed of the Knicks now, so the Cavs are back in third. If I'm the Knicks, I kind of want that third seed because I'd rather play the Pacers, let's say, than play the Magic.
Pacers, yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's also just an easier series, and the Magic are also a very good team. Like you kind of expected the Knicks to be here that 3, 4, 5, but the Magic have really like showed up recently.
I mean, I still would like the Knicks. It's tough to say though, man. Without OG, like if they had OG and no Randall, I'd say they would beat the Magic. But no OG and no Randall, I don't know. They could get first rounded, you know.
Yeah, but it's interesting because with Randall, it's like he hasn't even had contact, like any like contact practices. But it's already April 1st.
Yeah.
Season ends like in 2 weeks.
They're purposely being discreet. I think they know he's most likely not going to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not doing non-contact, I mean, how many games do they have? They have like 3 games left? No.
No, they have like 7, 8.
7, okay.
Yeah.
Way off by that. Yeah, I mean, the OG injury is kind of...
Yeah.
It really sucks, man. Because you think you're going to get him back, and then you get Robinson back.
Because he completely changed what that team is. Yes, RJ and IQ are better offensive options than OG is, but he fits that team better. RJ, a lot of the times on the Knicks, was just standing in the corner, which wasn't his game. Whereas you have OG and Nobi standing in the corner for the corner 3.
Yeah, but he also... He guards Jason Tatum. He guards the other team's best player.
He guards the other team's best player. He's like, you know what you have with him, and it's like, it sucks because, like I said, Mitchell Robinson was out from November, came back last week.
Yeah.
And now it's like this team's not going to even really be whole for a playoff push. It's tough.
And they've had a lot of guys step up too throughout this whole season. I mean, you can just go down the list from Josh Hart to Hardenstein, but. I mean, I don't know what you do. I think you just have to kind of be like, all right, the injury bug got us this year. If we don't make it out of the first round because of no OG.
No OG, no Randall. It's like, what are you going to really take away from the season to be able to rebuild in the offseason, you know?
Well, there are takeaways.
There are takeaways, but like you can't really
like DiVincenzo is a lot more than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting for next season, right?
Miles McBride too has really showed out.
They're gonna have their bench pieces. Like Bogey's still gonna be there next season, so that they have a very competent team for next season. But it sucks. I feel like you only go back a couple months and they're really thinking they could like absolutely make it out of the East.
And it's like, and it's interesting because Randall gets a bad rap around a lot of Knicks fans, but he's 24, 9, and 5 in game.
No, I mean
he's good. Like I get like he's not like this great player time in time out, but he's a very good player. Like,
he had the bad 2022, right? That was kind of that down season, and then
bounced back last year.
Yeah, bounced back last year and had a great season this year before he got injured. So I think he is that player where Knicks fans kind of realize, okay, he's not the one option, but we have Brunson now. He is the clear one.
No, Brunson is
a superstar,
option, right? But without Randall there as that consistent second scorer, you're kind of like, I get Dante is a great player, Josh Hart, but they're not going to consistently night in night out give you
as great as they are role players.
Yeah, they're supplementing pieces, right? They're role players,
and I feel like that label has gotten kind of like negative.
Very,
yeah. It's not bad being a role player. I mean, Mikal Bridges is a role player, but they have him as
Mikal Bridges is a third option on a championship team,
yeah.
not the first option that is in Brooklyn.
So I don't.
It also doesn't help when LeBron's making everything against you, but
That was tough yesterday. But you know what? I think most of the fans just kind of show up to watch the Stars. They don't really care too much about the Nets right now. Anyways, Knicks are the 4th seed right now. They have the Magic breathing down their back a little bit, but it's still not too. I think it's gonna go down to the wire, man. Between the Knicks and the Cavs.
Yeah. Knicks, Cavs, Magic.
What do we got for the Cavs' remaining schedule? That's interesting.
Let me see. All right, so they have the Jazz tomorrow, Suns Wednesday, then the Lakers, Clippers, Grizzlies, Pacers, Hornets. Okay, so those last 3 are easy.
Mm-hmm.
Grizzlies, Pacers, Hornets are 3 easy.
Let's say
games.
they'll pick up the win against Utah. Maybe they lose. No, they're getting Mitchell back, right? They have.
He's
Mitchell.
about to come back this week.
Yeah, so they could beat the Suns. They could beat the Lakers. They could beat everyone.
The Suns are another team. You don't know what you get from them.
Yeah.
They either beat Denver twice or lose to the Spurs without Wembanyama.
Right.
It's like they're bad too because.
So they could. I mean, they could win every single one of these games.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, they could.
The Knicks, on the other hand, you get the Heat tomorrow, which is gonna be tough. The Kings on Thursday, that'll probably be a loss. The Bulls, you can win that. Bucks will be difficult. Bulls again. Those 2 games against the Bulls are must wins. Then the Celtics, Nets, Bulls again. Okay,
you
wow.
played the Bulls 3 times in April.
Okay, well that's kind of nice to get a break there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully they'll win all 3 of those, but they might.
And then the game against the Celtics, like, what's the Celtics starting lineup even going to be at that point?
Oh, you think they'll start resting some guys?
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then that might be a dub. They'll probably pick up the dub against the Nets.
Unless the Knicks are able to solidify themselves a little bit in the 3rd or 4th seed, they could also be resting these guys like these last 3-4 games too. Because a lot can change between now and a week from now.
I don't know. I think it also it also depends on the Magic too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So they don't want to rest guys and lose a spot.
Right. And then the Magic remaining schedule is kind of easy. They got the Blazers, the Pelicans, Hornets, Bulls, Rockets, Bucks, Sixers, Bucks. So those last 3 are tough. Bucks, Sixers, and Bucks again. Speaking of the Sixers, Joel Embiid's expected to be back tomorrow night.
That is huge. 8th seed right now.
8th seed. If you played them in the first round, and you're the Bucks or the Celtics, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. I would not want to play them in the first round. Do you think? Okay, wait. They are 1.5 games back of the Heat right now. So, do you think they catch up the Heat? Because if they don't, then they're going to be in the play-in, right?
Yeah. The 7 through 10 fall in the play-in, and the Heat are only a half game behind the Pacers.
I think that stays how it is. To be honest with you, I think the Heat keep the 7th seed.
I could see the Heat getting 6th, and the Pacers getting down to 7th.
Okay.
But
yeah. I do probably think the Sixers will be a play-in team. I mean, that sounds about right. And then they'll make it out of the play-in tournament.
Yeah. Bulls, the Hawks are well ahead of the Nets too, right? In terms of
yeah.
5.5. Yeah, that's all right. I mean, the Nets aren't out of it yet, but
no, they're out of it.
I mean, not mathematically, but yeah.
Yeah.
They're all but done. The Thunder and Nuggets also clinched over the weekend. Timberwolves are right on their neck. Clippers have won 3 in a row, but they've looked terrible recently.
So Mavericks, I mean, the Mavericks 9-1 in their last 10.
7 game win streak.
So they've jumped ahead of the Pelicans. Is that right?
Yep, they're 5th seed. Pelicans are 6th.
That's gonna be. I think that the seedings won't change too much in the West, in my opinion.
I don't. Clippers Mavericks first round again would be amazing. Pelicans just lost to the Celtics. They're without Brandon Ingram, but they're really good.
Dude, just every one of these matchups are so interesting.
Because imagine you're let's say the Thunder get 1st seed, and in the 1st seed you have to play the Kings or the Suns.
Dude, Lakers, Warriors, both in the play-in. Suns in the play-in.
Yeah. Speaking of the Warriors, the Rockets are right behind them too.
Man, this is gonna be the best. I know we've only had the play-in tournament for 2 years
Yeah.
now, but this could be like
It's
one of the best play-in
It's great,
tournaments
yeah.
ever. I mean, you got KD, Steph, and LeBron.
KD, LeBron all in the play-in. KD,
That's
Steph,
gonna be
LeBron.
fun.
And then in the East, you have Embiid,
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Butler,
Yeah.
and then Trey Young if he's back,
Mm-hmm.
and the Bulls.
I love the play-in tournament
Yeah.
so much. I
It's
think
fun.
it's a massive
It's fun.
success. Yeah. Besides that, I don't know what else could we really. The Thunder. Do you think the Thunder will secure that one spot, or will it probably go back to the Nuggets?
I think the Nuggets get it.
Yeah.
I think the Nuggets get it. So let's say potentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a Nuggets and Suns first round,
Mm-hmm.
which is possible. And the Suns have beat the Nuggets twice this season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obviously I would pick the Nuggets because that's a safer option. But if I'm Denver, I don't want to see Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in the first round.
No.
I'd
No,
rather
you
I'd
don't.
rather play the Kings.
Would you?
Yeah. Than the Suns in the series. Yeah.
That's tough, dude. That's a
Because
tough
I
call.
feel like if you have Devin Booker and KD just catching fire for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the thing. It's the team that, like, with the least amount of star power. I
Yeah.
feel like you just want to
Yeah.
take,
Especially because the Kings, like, the bloom kind of died off the rose from where they were last season to now.
the bloom kind of died off the rose. That was nice. Yeah, I guess so. I'd take the Sun or the Kings over the Suns for sure.
I like the Pelicans, but they're kind of just there, honestly.
The Pelicans.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Zion's been playing well.
Zion's been playing well, but the West is too deep.
The West is really deep.
Yeah.
That is kind of the issue. Who did you take to win the West again? Did you take the Nuggets?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said Nuggets, Celtics final.
Nuggets. Okay, yeah. I think like 90% of people probably would say the same thing.
Yeah.
If there's any like dark horse teams, what do you think?
Timberwolves, they're too young.
Really?
But there's too much stuff late in the game where it's just too many dumb, boneheaded mistakes. And they're a young team, I get it. It's just Anthony Edwards is fantastic, but they're not there yet. They could get there, but
Do you think they're missing like a player, or they just need like playoff experience?
they just need more playoff experience.
Okay.
Clippers kind of had that resurgence when they traded for. They lost the 3 games in a row when they signed James Harden,
Mm-hmm.
but they kind of came storming back, but have kind of died down. It's interesting to see like what their first round matchup is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
just because of like how much that's a championship team.
Clippers.
That's a championship or bust team.
Yeah. I mean, we finally got to see what they look like
Yeah.
healthy. You know what I mean?
And Kawhi's played this season like a lot. Also coincides with this contract year, but that's beside the point.
But dude, the Mavericks. I mean, if they, it's we say it a lot about baseball that like once you make the postseason, it's really about just getting hot and being healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It applies to basketball too. You know, if the Mavericks are going on a bit of a run here to end the season,
It's I guess it's different depending on situation. Like the Mavericks, for example,
Mhm.
they're getting hot at the right time, right?
Right.
9 in the last 7-game win streak. Whereas you see like the Celtics and even the Bucks, like they're starting just to rest their guys.
Bucks
it's-
6-4 in their last 10. Cavaliers 4-6. All right, well they were losing Donovan Mitchell, but
I can't wait for Doc Rivers to blow a 3-1 lead somehow.
yeah, I don't know, dude. It's so hard to pick any of these teams other than the Celtics to come out of the East. I don't want to do it because I hate picking
If
the
the
favorite.
Celtics in the first round play the Heat,
Ooh. That's kind of worst case scenario for you guys.
oh
huh?
yeah. You kidding me? I have to watch like all these role players hit threes against us the whole time.
Nah, I think you get. I mean, look at this competition. Like, I think you guys should
We'll be
definitely
fine.
make it out of the East.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
The Bucks match up well against us though.
Do they?
Yeah.
What's the season series between you guys?
We're leading it 2-1 so far.
2-1. All
With
right.
one more game to come next Tuesday in Milwaukee.
I'll watch that. That's gonna be a good game. But I don't know, man. I mean, like you said, do you really? Doc Rivers has kind of earned this reputation
Yeah,
of kind of blowing it in the playoffs.
and they're, I believe, 15-14
Mm-hmm.
since he joined the team, and they fired Adrian Griffin after going 30-13.
Yeah. So, if it's not the Bucks, it's not the Knicks. Probably won't be the Cavs.
Probably won't get that. No one's gonna trust the Cavs.
Then you think the seventh seed has the
Yeah.
best shot at beating the Celtics. It's kind of wild.
I'll probably the best shot of being the Celtics. I'd probably go Bucks 1, and then
Mhm.
Miami 2. But I do not want to see Miami in the first round. And it's also because I kind of want these like the 3-6 to change in the East. I kind of want the Knicks to get the third seed because I ain't trying to watch no Cavs Pacers first round series.
Cavs Pacers.
Like that's boring.
I mean,
Like I get it, it's Halliburton, it's Mitchell. You got star power there, but it's just none of those teams feel like a second round team.
I mean, honestly, with what the Pacers did in the in-season tournament,
All right.
I feel like there could be some magic there. What do you think?
Yeah. If Halliburton could get hot again,
If they upset the Cavs,
Yeah.
Would you be so surprised about that?
I would be shocked. If they beat the Cavs in the series, I'd be surprised.
Okay.
Because even though, as much as we clown the Cavs, they still have much more star power than the
Yeah.
Pacers do. And Pacers have had a lot of injuries. Miles Turner in and out the lineup. Matherin's out for the year. Halliburton was injured, but still kind of played through just to get that 65 game rule that they have.
Yeah.
Like
Cavs are a much
individual
more
goals.
well-rounded team.
Yeah.
Too.
And like I said with because you mentioned the in-season tournament,
Yeah.
Halliburton kind of got hot during that time too.
Mm.
Like he was shooting.
I guess
at
it's
a
just the
great pace.
Cavs blowing it against the Knicks when
Yeah, that's what it
everyone
is,
was
right.
picking them last season.
Right.
So I think that's what kind of has
Yeah.
me hesitant to pick the Cavs.
So if we're looking at a first round of Knicks Pacers and Cavs Magic would be a good series too.
Cavs Magic would be good.
That
I'm
could go.
interested,
That could go
just
either way.
either of these young teams.
That could
I'm
go
interested
either
to
way.
see what they do. I need a young team to kind of not make like a deep playoff run, but some kind of upset here.
Yeah. Bulls and Hawks. Yeah, whatever.
Banger series right there.
I know.
I don't know, dude. I think it's gonna be interesting checking back in next week to see how the standings change.
Lakers Warriors for playing again. It's gonna be interesting. LeBron against Steph, just in hopes of, because the 9 and 10 they have to win that first time, and then they have to win a second time just to get in. Because the loser of the 7-8 plays the winner of the 9-10.
Who's the 7? Yeah.
Because the winner of 7-8 automatically gets 7 seed and plays the 2 seed.
What about the Rockets? 9.
So I want them to get 10 seed so bad.
Knock down the Warriors.
Yeah, they're on the run right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
I know they lost. They got smacked last night by Luka, who had 23 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But
Jalen
Jalen Green has
Green's
been
playing.
killing it. Fred VanVleet has been great. It just seems like ever since Alperen Sengun kind of got injured, I know Alperen Sengun is their best player. That's the guy that they want to build around. But it's kind of opened up opportunities for other guys like Jabari Smith, like Tari Eason, guys like that who have gotten the opportunity to shine.
The Warriors don't even make the play-in tournament. That would be
That would
pretty
be bad.
eye-opening.
That,
Yeah.
If they don't make it, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because that team, Steph Curry's too good.
You saw after that Draymond ejection, like, he was crying.
Yeah, he's
It's-
so pissed.
Dude.
That Wednesday, right? It was like
Mhm.
first few minutes into the game against the Magic,
Yeah.
and they called the foul. I believe it was on Andrew Wiggins,
Mm-hmm.
and Draymond just goes up to the ref and like complains once he gets first tech, keeps doing it, they just kick him out. It's because the Warriors now, they know.
Steph knows.
Yeah, Steph-
that they're kind of
Yeah,
they're on the back end of their career.
and it's also like there's two perceptions of Draymond. I feel like there's perceptions that the officials feel where it's like we know how Draymond is, so a lot of what he says or does, we let it slide because that's his personality. Whereas with the Warriors, they kind of feel that same way, but they're starting to realize like, all right, dude, like this is a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to chill out. Like he's too important for them
Mm-hmm.
for them to be missing him. For
And then there's
long
like the
periods of
Clay
time.
contract situation looming
Yeah.
over them.
Which he's not getting no extension.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way.
It's going to be interesting. I think
They're
the dynasties.
yeah.
coming
The
to an end.
dynasty is coming to an end, and they just need to rebuild around their young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Should we finish it off with some March Madness?
Yeah, let's do it. This has been the UConn tournament.
It has, hasn't it? They have just been completely dominant.
To have an Elite Eight game, right? You tied 23 up, and for them to go on a 30-0 run.
I don't even know. I'm watching it, and I don't know how it's happening.
So I missed it live. I saw the whole 30-0 run like on the Twitter clip.
Yeah.
And it's just, dude, like they got everything they wanted with such ease. Like they didn't even have to work hard for it.
You have, you won last year, so a lot of the players there have that championship, caliber play. The head coach, extremely good. Very entertaining guy as well. And I mean, Purdue's good.
Yeah.
Zach Edey's good.
Purdue is good. I know a lot of people don't like them, but this team is good, and
but UConn is better.
Yeah, and that game, just quickly on Zach Edey, though, that game yesterday against Tennessee, very good game, came down to the wire. Zach Edey had 40 and 16.
That's pretty good.
Which is insane. And look, I get a lot of people are saying, I can't wait for him to get into the NBA and all this. For the NBA, I watch a lot of these guys, and it's like, none of these guys feel NBA ready to me.
None of them?
Not like, a lot of them don't feel, I can't say it, none of them.
There are players in March Madness who have that, like, magic.
Yeah.
That, you saw
like
it with the...
NC State.
Yeah. Who was the I'm forgetting his name. It was the white guy for the...
Purdue?
No.
No,
He was
no.
the guy who, like, only shot 3-pointers. I'm blanking on his name. Cole. I'm so sorry.
He had 10 threes and, like, 32 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that is a player who... He said in a post-game interview, I'm probably not going to the NBA.
Yeah.
So there are players like that have those moments, that have really great tournament runs and are really talented college players, but their game doesn't necessarily transfer over to the NBA.
Like Zach Edey, like he's good and all, he's a big force in the paint, but he's too slow for the NBA. In the NBA, he's nothing more than a backup center. That's where it kind of is with him, yeah.
Okay.
But going on to this Final Four, NC State and Purdue. By the way, both of these games are on Saturday.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is...
I guess you have to, though, because the final is on Monday, so
you're
not going to have a team play on Sunday and then just play the next day.
NC State with the upset over Duke this past weekend. That was a really fun game.
Yeah.
I watched a good amount of that.
You had Duke come out to an early lead in the first half. NC State keep it close to the end of the first half, and then for NC State just completely take over in the second half.
I mean, that DJ Burns guy.
Yeah.
That guy's a monster. Oh my gosh.
With that size, yeah.
What about him? Do you think his game translates, or is he kind of the same situation as Edey?
Probably the same situation.
Honestly, I mean, you just got to be big in college, and I feel
Yeah.
like you can be a monster.
Yeah, because it's easy, because you just get looks in the paint. And
guys can't rebound.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to. I looked at the rankings of like the Final Four this morning, and everyone has UConn.
It's hard not to pick a final here that's not UConn Purdue.
I'd like to see like the NC State kind of Cinderella story.
No, of course, yeah.
Is there a line in that game? It's probably not pretty. But I don't know, man. I mean, UConn going back to back.
Yeah.
Which now that we predicted it, it's not going to happen. Because we suck at predicting stuff on the
show. Okay,
guys.
NC State's going to win.
NC State's going to win.
God. Remember how we kept predicting Monday Night Football games?
Dude.
And every time it was wrong.
Stop doing that. Has there been any NFL free agency news this past week?
I don't believe so. Other than the only thing recently with the NFL was all the rule changes.
Oh, Eagles send Hassan Reddick to the Jets.
Okay.
That's a good pickup. Their defense is going to be so good. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. You think Sirianni's gone if they don't win?
He should be. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised.
I'm surprised he's still here, but...
Yeah.
It's tough.
they're gonna have a really because that job then is gonna be like super sought after.
When they signed Saquon, I was like, yeah, this is
Mm-hmm.
they have to now.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, what do we got? No, it's pretty quiet right now in free agency. I think most of the big names are off the board.
Yeah.
Are you surprised Belichick is not coaching?
No.
No?
I think it was time for him to go.
You think so?
I think it's time for a new look for that team.
Yeah, obviously from like the Patriots, but like just in general, he's not coaching. It's kind of surprising to me. I thought he was going to be like the most sought after
you thought
coach candidate.
I'm honestly, I mean, we talked about this off air, but I'm kind of surprised the Cowboys didn't go out and get him.
Dude, so am I. I'm just surprised they're keeping McCarthy.
Like when they kept McCarthy, I was like, huh?
It feels like a really nice fit because they need a guy who comes in and kind of, takes hold of the organization. I know that's the thing that Jerry Jones, does not want. But that's what they need. They need a guy to like create a culture for them. And although Belichick is old and some say his style of coaching is kind of in the past and it's kind of leaning towards more younger offensive-minded coaches. I feel like you need a Belichick, like a Sean Payton kind of guy.
Yeah, a culture setter kind of guy, a guy that like, regardless of the roster, knows what he wants out of his team.
Yeah,
and
McCarthy's
that's why
not that.
That's why you have like Sean Payton and Russell Wilson butt heads.
Mm-hmm.
That I feel like the same thing is going to happen with Russell Wilson and Tomlin.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tomlin is going to want a certain thing. He knows what he wants out of the team. He knows what he wants out of Russell Wilson, and it's not going to work. And by week 6, you're just going to give that starting spot to who's the Bears QB that just got traded to the Steelers? Why am I blanking on his name?
Justin Fields.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Justin Fields. Justin Fields is eventually getting that starting spot. In
you think so?
Yeah. It's going to take a few weeks, but yeah.
I don't know, man. I think Russell Wilson is not bad. Like he will definitely be their starting quarterback, unless he gets injured. I don't know if Justin takes over for him.
I just feel it. I feel like with Russell, it's a 1-year rental. He's 35. They're eventually going to want to go young, and I think they'll experiment. Obviously, they're going to start Russell Wilson for the start of the season because you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like eventually, if it doesn't work out, it'll just go to Fields.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be an interesting battle in training camp. Like,
Mm-hmm.
imagine if they announced that Justin Fields is going to be the starter.
Yeah.
That would be
Nuts.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But it is April 1st, and we got the NFL draft this month.
Right at the end, right?
Yeah, let's take a look at the draft order one more time. Because we got not a lot of movement. Really not any movement so far. It's kind of been a lock now with the trade, the Justin Fields trade, that Chicago is going to go for Caleb Williams. Washington, New England, most likely both going quarterback. Arizona, I think a lot of people have Marvin Harrison going there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting what the Chargers and Giants decide to do. I think Giants. Some people say, most people say the Giants should pick one of these wide receivers, right? But then you'll also have J.J. McCarthy, who's like turning a lot of heads. But I don't know, man. What do you think the Giants should do?
I think you have to go for one of the wide receivers.
Yeah.
And just, honestly, 1 year, just one more year with Daniel Jones.
It would be interesting if one of the quarterbacks, if Washington or New England didn't pick, like either Drake May or Jaden Daniels, like slips.
I think Daniels goes to Washington and Drake May goes to New England.
Yeah, that's the most likely.
I think that's. But of the two, of those two, I could see it more likely that the Commanders for some reason wouldn't pick a quarterback, and if a quarterback does fall to the Giants.
Well, they don't have a quarterback right now because Sam Howell's gone, so they're most likely.
They basically have to.
Yeah, they have to go Drake May, and then
same thing with the Patriots. Mac Jones is gone unless you want Bailey Zappi to start, which,
right. Yeah, so not great options if you're looking for a quarterback. I mean, you could
No.
go J.J. McCarthy, you could go Michael Penix, but those are kind of guys that you could definitely trade down in the draft to get still.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're just gonna go with one of those two wide receivers. Same with the Chargers, probably get Herbert some more weapons now that you lost Keenan Allen. You know.
Yeah. Lost Keenan Allen. They lost Eckler too.
Lost Eckler.
Of the Commanders.
Yeah, but you don't draft a running back way up there.
Yeah, that was such a bizarre move. I felt like Eckler to
Eckler
the Commanders. I was like, okay, like.
I mean, he's according to fantasy, he's not a bad running back.
Yeah.
But
I remember
the game tape would kind of tell you a different story.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's not going to be a lot of surprises this draft.
I feel like it's gonna be pretty run of the mill.
Yeah.
Especially at the top, because it just goes down to team need.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Obviously we know who the Bears are gonna pick. We know who.
I want to see one trade, like imagine New England just trades back.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, where are these quarterbacks going?
What if the Giants trade back?
The Giants trade back.
Because that's also another thing. Like people are talking about, like potentially, you just trade out of that pick.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't really care about either of those receivers,
Yeah,
I think you just want to.
But at least that top three, they have to, like obviously the Bears are, but the Commanders and Patriots kind of have to stay locked into those picks because they need quarterbacks.
Yeah, I would go. I think I would just try to get Neighbors.
Yeah.
Maybe if the Chargers get Neighbors, then after that you trade back.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Man, I just feel like the Giants are in that interesting position where it's like you're sixth. You see all the top marquee quarterbacks come off the board.
But then there's like Joe Alt. There's still a lot of guys that would serve them really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good draft, man. And you know, God, the Cowboys are 24th. That feels so far. I mean, I know there's still gonna be a lot of good players at 24, but.
Oh, because we never talked about on our show. What do you expect out of the Cowboys next season?
Next season,
yeah,
it's gonna be the same.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna beat up on the bad teams. They're gonna be competitive with the decent teams, and then they're gonna lose to the good teams.
Did you expect them to do anything in free agency? Or
Honestly,
what did you
man,
want them to do?
I knew Tyron Smith was gone because that's why we got Tyler Smith as his replacement, you know. So that didn't suck that much. Losing Pollard is kind of Again, the running back market is weird where Pollard did not have like that amazing of a season last season where I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm freaking
you
out
have
about
to keep
losing
him,
him.
right?
Yeah. I don't even know where I think for Dallas you just draft best player available.
Right.
The best, unless they have some like secret guy on their board. You know, Tyler Smith was that guy for them that no one really thought of, you know, picking him, and then turned out to be, you know, your next franchise left tackle. So,
Dak's gonna come back off the best regular season of his career.
Dude, that whole situation with Dak is gonna be really bad. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly, man, because they're most likely not gonna pay him.
But he's gonna want the money.
But he's gonna want the money, so he's gonna go elsewhere, and then it's gonna be just this whole thing about like, this guy was good. Why don't you want to keep him? But in reality, he's not good enough to win the Super Bowl. Right. So
why keep him if you're an organization that's just built around wanting success?
Yeah.
You know, the Cowboys aren't going to settle with wanting to tank unless they like really, really have to.
I don't believe any Cowboys fan who. Well, okay, believing in Dak is one thing, but thinking that Dak can win you a Super Bowl is another. Where I don't understand that.
He's
anymore.
not the guy. He's not the guy that could get it done.
You don't have that. You know, Kirk Cousins is a really talented quarterback, but no one thinks of him as that guy to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Dak is in that. I know he had a great season last year, but if you look at the teams
MVP
that he's playing,
too, to be honest. But
yeah, but if you look at the teams that he's playing, it's like.
It's like, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do, but...
He's supposed to beat up on the bad teams. I mean, I don't know. I'd be fine if Dak walked, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And they just kind of reset the quarterback position there. Obviously, that sets your franchise back quite a bit.
Yeah.
But you're gonna
But
have to pay
it's the
Micah.
decision that's going to need to be made because
Yeah.
paying him would kind of be irresponsible.
Honestly, you got to pay Micah. You got to pay CD.
And you have to pay Michael Parsons, CD
Yeah.
Lamb, and Dak. Like, it's not bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this show up.
Let's do it. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's Beyond the Box Score. We will catch you next week.
Thank you guys.